This is the Animal, one half of the world famous tag team, the Road Warriors. If you want to listen to the greatest online action, listen to InYourHeadOnline.com. Don't miss it.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Sunny, the original diva of the WWE on InYourHeadOnline.com. This is the place to come for the real deal about wrestling, so make sure you visit us.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.
This is Mick Foley, the Hardcore Legend, and this is InYourHeadOnline.com.
Hello everybody, this is Tito Santana, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. Arriba!
Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. These guys are unbelievable, baby!
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. And if you want to get your money worth, stay right here, because you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.
Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio, Wrestlemania 27 post show. I'm the internet icon, handsome Jackie Jones here, flying solo. You guys want to call in tonight? The number is 508-644-8503, or you can call in 646-649-1084. Call in, tell me what you thought of WrestleMania, the whole card, your favorite match, whatever you want to do. If anybody's there live, call in. Good times. We're going to start right at the top. WrestleMania 27 from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so this totally unknown person to me sings the national anthem. Carrie Hilson, I have no clue who she is. Maybe somebody out there does, but I don't know. So she sang the national anthem, and then we got to Rock came out, and he's got a new tracksuit. That's pretty good stuff. And it has Team Bring It on it. And then I like the whole setup for WrestleMania. I like the ramp. I like the big cube in the middle of the ring. It kind of looked like some type of crazy Hellraiser thing, or like the Cosmic Cube from Thanos and Fantastic Four. But it was pretty nifty looking. Rock came out. I did all his catchphrases. It's always cool to see The Rock. I mean, it's awesome. The Rock cannot do a bad promo, but I don't think it wasn't anything we haven't heard before. It was kind of like his promos he's been doing on Raw. So, but I mean, it's cool. The Rock's there doing his stuff. Then we open a nice video package showing all the history of WrestleMania. It builds up the importance of the show, the granddaddy of them all. It's good times. So from there, it's 15 minutes into the show, and we haven't had a match yet. It's the only problem. But, it's WrestleMania. You want to build up the hype, and it's 4 hours, so I can live with that. It was heard, on WWE.com that Daniel Bryan and Sheamus was taken off the show, which is too bad because I thought that would have been a really good wrestling match on the show, like, good in-ring action. I like both guys. Would have been nice to see Daniel Bryan get a pay-per-view match, especially WrestleMania. I read from what happened, though, was they had a match that turned into like a lumberjack match, which then turned into a battle royal that the Great Khali won. So if anyone out there is wondering who won the Sheamus Daniel Bryan match, the Great Khali won. That makes totally perfect sense. But so anyway, the first match of the actual show on WrestleMania was it opened up with the SmackDown title, the World Championship. Very bizarre that would open the show, but I think that goes to show like 2 titles is too many. If you're opening the show, the WrestleMania, with a world title match, you probably shouldn't have 2 titles. But anyway, we had Edge versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio won the Royal Rumble this year, which should be a big deal. You win the Royal Rumble, you go on to WrestleMania. Should be a big kickoff to your career. Should be a big deal. Should probably, if you win the Rumble, you probably should main event in the show at the end. But here he's opening the match. Comes out of his car, cool entrance. Both Edge and Del Rio are looking in good shape here for WrestleMania. Christian came out, he's dressed in his gear. Del Rio has his personal announcer with him. He also has Big Brodus Clay, who I'm a big fan of. I know in the chat room, Mrs. Big Red Machine suggested that he wore longer tights because she found it hard to concentrate in the show because she was checking out, she could see a lot of Brodus, let's just put it that way. So they had a good match, I thought, Del Rio and Edge, and I haven't really been crazy over the build of this, but I thought they worked well in the ring. I liked Christian was doing some stuff outside the ring. It kind of, gave him a point for being there. He didn't just stand around. He helped to ward off Brodus and his outside interference. One time he gave him a spinning, DDT from the ring apron. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. Brodus also gave him a really cool throw outside of the ring. I hope Brodus sticks around. I like the guy. I like the throwback, big, nasty heel. We don't really have any guys like that anymore, so I hope he sticks around. Kind of surprised, to me, was Edge won with the spear, because I figured Del Rio would win, because he's kind of like the new star. Edge has been around a long time. I like Edge, but for the last couple of years, I think he's getting kind of stale, especially as a babyface. And so I don't know why they want to keep the belt on him, but maybe they didn't want Del Rio winning it quite yet. But I think this would have been a good, if they're really serious about getting behind Del Rio as like a future top star in the company, I think this would have been the time to put the title on. But, what the hell. So, Edge pinned him with the spear, then Edge and Christian destroyed his car with a pipe and a crowbar. At first they just kind of kicked it, and then they went and got the tools. At first I was like, man, that's kind of lame, like he just kicked the car, like this didn't do anything. And I always wonder why all the tools in WWE and ladders, they're always painted black. Like, I don't know, makes them look fake, even though you know they're not. But for some reason they're black, and they destroyed the car, they broke the windshield. It was good times. There's people in both chat rooms. Again, you can join us in the chat room at Blog Talk that you're listening off, but you can also join the regular chat room over at InYourHeadOnline.com. So you got two chat rooms going here. If you guys want to call in, it's 508-644-8503. Or you can call the other number, 646-649-1084. So from that match, we went into, I thought that was a good match. Give it a thumbs up. Good opener. Gets everyone excited. People get to see him destroy the car finally. And the rich guy, he's crying. Kind of mean, though, really. Just destroying the car. All right. Then we get Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes. And some people weren't big on it, but personally, I really dug Rey Mysterio's outfit. He came out dressed as Captain America, which is a topical superhero for once. He didn't come out like, superhero from years ago that was really worn out. He came out as Captain America, the movie coming out. I dug the suit. I always like when he dresses, different. He used to do more in WCW and WWE. It's mostly just at WrestleMania. But I dug the Captain America. It had the M on it. I don't know if it was for Captain Mysterio or maybe it was Captain Mexico. But he has the red, white, and blue. I don't know what the colors of Mexico are. I think they're green and something. But anyway, he did the Captain America suit. I dug it. It was a little slower paced than like a normal Rey Mysterio match, but I thought it was good stuff. I thought they worked really well together. Had a lot of cool spots. And, Cody Rhodes got to play like the bigger guy, which he doesn't get to do too often because, he's not a huge man. But he's playing the bigger guy versus Rey Mysterio. But I also thought the size difference between Rey Mysterio and Cody wasn't so much that, it really puts you off the match. There are times when Rey Mysterio will wrestle a guy that's so much bigger than him, it kind of takes away the believability. But these two guys are, Cody's definitely bigger, but it's not, unbelievable that the stuff Rey's doing to him would hurt him. So I dug that. Rey did the diving mask, diving headbutt with Cody's mask. He had a double mask on. And he got the near pin. And then Cody rolling the ring. He used Rey's brace, hit Rey with it, and then he hit the crossroads for the pin. So I think that was a big win for Cody because Rey's a big star in WWE. He usually wins the big matches. So I see big things for Cody. I always said I thought Cody was the talent in his team with Ted DiBiase. And I think, WWE saw Ted DiBiase as the star of the group. They gave him the big push. Cody not so much, but now we see where Cody is and we see where Ted is. Then we went backstage, and Snoop Dogg was with Teddy Long. And they kind of did like a, WWE Idol type of thing where people came out and sang. I guess just to get some TV time for some of these guys and get Snoop Dogg on the show. I thought the best part was Regal came out and he did a rap. That was funny. I always like to see Regal on TV. It always makes me laugh. Definitely a guy they should use more often. Very talented. All around great performer. And, if they don't want to use him in the ring, he's such a great talker, and he's great in some type of role like a general manager, which I'm not really big on general managers. But if you're going to have one, use Regal. Definitely you should find more use for the guy in the company. And then it was Great Khali and Beth Phoenix, which they were singing Summer Lovin' from Greece. That was not good. Poor Beth Phoenix. I mean, at one time, people really seeing her as a big deal in the company, and now she's just tagging out with Great Khali in a comedy role. Pretty sad. Zack Ryder. Actually, Zack Ryder, that was pretty funny. He was singing the Friday song all over YouTube. Probably the worst song ever made, but Zach was singing it. I'm glad Zach got some WrestleMania time though, because I don't know why he's not used somehow in the Snooki angle. They bring Snooki in from the extra show he's a parody of, and they don't put him on TV together. I'm not saying they should be a tag team or he should be a main event guy, whatever, but they should do something with them. Have some type of comedy spot where she makes fun of him. He goes up and does a fist bump, something, but they haven't done anything. Then Piper came up, one of my all-time favorites, Roddy Piper, and beats up Zack Ryder, so it was pretty cool. Then we had Chris Masters and Jap Bill, and they were singing The Queen Will Rock With You, and Masters was doing he was playing with his breasts, he was doing the booby dance while Jap Bill sang, and was not so good. And then we had Hornswoggle at the end, and Teddy Long basically said Hornswoggle cannot speak. And so they just took off, and Hornswoggle, all of a sudden, he became the rap master, Hornswoggle, and he started rapping with the Bellas. And Hornswoggle and the Bellas together. I mean, you can't get much better than that, huh? So anyway, that's probably enough time on that. Then we had the 8-man tag match, a match pretty much nobody cared about. You had the Core. They spent a lot of a lot of TV time on these guys. I think if you go back and look at when the Nexus debuted there, and you saw how they destroyed Raw set, to go to WrestleMania, you'd think these guys would have a big part at WrestleMania, but they're not even Nexus anymore. They're the Core, and they're just kind of in this real quick 8-man match. And yeah, they could have just left this off the show probably, but I guess they wanted to get 8 guys on TV on WrestleMania, and they wrestled Team Big Show, which was Big Show and Kane. Santino got a huge pop, and Kofi Kingston replaced Kozlov because they did an angle at Access where they beat up Kozlov, and wasn't much point since the match was only a couple minutes maybe. Had a couple cool spots. Actually, probably the best spot to me was Santino's walk to the ring. He's swiveling the hips. That was good times. Really, really short match. Kofi did a nice dive outside of the ring, took out some of the guys, and Santino hit the Cobra on the Pride of West Virginia, the one-man rock band, Heath Slater. That was pretty cool. That's one of the most over moves in wrestling, is the Cobra. Some people hate it. They say it's got no point. It should not be on wrestling, but it gets over, so to me it should be there. So anyway, he hit that, and then Big Show pinned Heath Slater, and I guess people cheered. I don't know what else the point of that match was. Then we get the back with Rock, and he's with Eve, who's the women's champion. And then Mae Young comes up, and Rock, he kind of boos because he's like, she's named Eve, like your childhood friends, Adam and Eve. And so, I don't think people want to see Rock making fun of poor old Mae Young. So, and then it was kind of funny because then Rock's telling Eve, oh, can you go escort her to Mae to her seat? And it's this is the Divas champion. Which, I know people listen to the show regularly at InYourHeadOnline.com. No, I'm no fan of Divas wrestling, but if she's your champion, is that really her best use? If she's escorting an elderly woman to her seat, what's to say about the women's champion? Austin showed up, and they had a little eye-to-eye, and Austin said he was ready to kick ass, and Brock was like, just bring it, and brought back memories of the last era, the two top stars. And will we ever see these two guys meet again? I don't think so. I think we'll definitely see Rock wrestle again. I don't think we'll ever see Austin wrestle again, but still, kind of cool moment, I guess. Randy Orton versus CM Punk, and I'm normally not a big fan of Randy Orton matches. I like him as a character. He's a very intense guy, but usually his matches are kind of boring. But I actually dug this match. I thought it was a good match, one of Orton's better matches in the ring. Punk's always really good. I was kind of disappointed that Orton did not have his bus this week. He could have maybe rode to the ring in the bus, or at least had outside the RKO Express, but no mention of it. So no bus for WrestleMania for Orton. I really, probably the best part was the big superplex. I'm always a mark for superplex as a kid. I really love Bob Orton, Cowboy Bob Orton. I love Piper. But I always dug the superplex. This was, before you saw so many moves off the top rope, and Bob would bolt that superplex. I'm like, wow, that's cool. And I really wish they would have mentioned that that was his daddy's move, but they didn't. It was still a cool spot. And then Punk also pulled up the old Hitman move, Bret Hart move, where he did the figure four over the post. I haven't seen anyone else do that, to my knowledge, since Hitman. That was pretty cool. He brought up the Anaconda Vice, which I prefer over the Go to Sleep. Never really a big fan of the Go to Sleep. I always think it looks kind of corny. Every once in a while it'll hit it good and it'll look cool, but usually it doesn't. And I really like Punk, but I'm not a big fan of that finisher. I would prefer the Anaconda Vice. And I also don't like the slick back hair. I don't get it. The vintage he was hanging on the top rope, always a good spot. Good match, RKO with the big Orton with the big RKO for the pin. Good match. It was weird though. Punk's still wearing the Nexus armband. Like all the Nexus are gone. I would think he would just totally forget about it, not even bother wearing the armband. But anyway, when we went backstage again with The Rock, Mean Gene Okerlund backstage with The Rock. Pee Wee Herman came out. He talked about being a big John Cena fan. Rock told me he sees potential in him to be a man and not part of the Fruit Loop crew, but that was a good name. And then they turned back, and Mean Gene had he had the John Cena shirt and hat and all, like the armbands, and that was probably the best of the backstage stuff. Just funny seeing Mean Gene. Anyway, but seeing Mean Gene dressed up as like a big Cena fan, that made my day. That was pretty funny. And so then Pee Wee does the Rock line and joins Team Bring It. Then we had Howard Finkel, which was always great to see the Fink, and he introduced the Hall of Fame class of 2011. And everyone got really big cheers. I think Duggan probably got the biggest pop. They all booed Drew Carey, which is kind of fun. He looked just like embarrassed to be there. I think they should just, unless it's like a celebrity that the crowd might accept, like if they would put Mr. T in, I would kind of dig it. But they shouldn't just put a celebrity in every year just to put a celebrity in. This was an example, I think, because nobody was into Drew Carey. They did not want him to be there. It was kind of funny, though, because everyone, was out there. But HBK had this huge star, and they made a big deal about him being in the Hall of Fame. He was a huge star, though, so that was cool. Booker T and Jim Ross came out to do commentary for the Lawler Cole match. It was good to see Jim Ross out there, and Booker did a good job too. I haven't really been digging him on SmackDown, but I've always kind of thought maybe if he didn't have the over the top heel Cole there to kind of ruin it, that he could put on a better match and better commentary. And I thought he did a lot better job here. And Cole came out like this hoodie and headgear, and I was really digging that. Then it was pretty funny because Swagger was doing his push-ups, and then the Austin music hit, and they just had like a priceless expression on Jack Swagger's face. And Austin rode down in the quad, and so Swagger ran off, and good times. I really dug the outfit on Jerry, kind of his old school, the cape, but had like the cross on the front, not like like an X on the front, but it crossed over. I like that. Really cool look. He had his old music back because he used to different music on this week on TV. I'm not sure why. What was weird because you could hear Austin yelling in the ring at guys, but they bleeped it, which is really weird on pay-per-view. I think he said like GD, goddamn or ass or whatever, and they bleeped it, which would be bad enough on Raw because it's 9 p.m. at night and it's, on cable. But this is a pay-per-view, and I don't think that was really needed. But I guess I'm nitpicking. Not a huge deal, but I don't think you needed that. It started King trying to pull Michael Cole through the coal mine, his glass chamber, and he grabbed his arm and he pulled him through, and that was pretty funny. And Cole had this really funny expression on his face, like up against the glass. And then he jumped in and started beating up Cole, and it was good stuff. I enjoyed that. And then Cole had a baseball slide. That was pretty good. And Swagger locked in the ankle lock, which hurt Lawler, which, led to Cole being able to beat up Swagger because he beat up the King, because Swagger just beat him up outside the ring. JR had a line that Cole was the pimple on the buttocks of life. Just the way Jim Ross phrased buttocks made me laugh. I like the Swagger bomb because he went to do Swagger's, the Swagger bomb, kind of like the Vader bomb, but instead of doing it off the middle rope, he was like unstable, so he did off the bottom rope. I thought that was pretty good stuff. And then, I liked a lot of the spots in it, but I really think they just gave the match too much time because, that whole middle part really dragged on, and Cole was out of breath, and, really people just want to see Lawler beat up Cole. And I could see Cole getting a little bit of offense in after Swagger beat him. That's fine, no problem with that. And then Lawler, come back and beat him. But I just think they gave it too much time, and it would have been a lot better if they cut out a lot of that middle. Maybe about 5 minutes of the match. Just keep it about 5 or 10 minutes. Would have been a lot better. But Lawler he stomped the mud hole in him. Let's see, Cole put him in the ankle lock. That was pretty funny. Swagger threw in the towel, and Austin just wiped his head off, and then Swagger got in the ring, and he just gave him the stunner. And then Cole was begging Austin to stop the match, and then Lawler started throwing the punches after Austin pushed Cole into him. He threw a really good drop kick, pulled down the strap, got a big bop, did the fist drop, he went for the pin, pulled the head up, would not pin him. And then he actually put him in the ankle lock. And that was a good spot to examine the ankle lock, and Austin was pretending he didn't hear him while Cole was tapping out like a madman. He wanted to get out of there, and but he left him tap out for a while, so it hurt him better. And that's good. They said just that they would cut the middle. Then the Raw GM calls in and says they reversed the match, and Cole wins by DQ. I don't know. I mean, we got to see Lawler beat up Cole, so that's really what we wanted. I don't know if they really even needed to do that. I guess they're trying to put some more, give Cole his heat back, but I don't think he really needed that. And then Austin gave everyone the stunner, gave Matthews the stunner, so people were happy. Then we had, I would say, the match of the night, Triple H versus Undertaker. Well, I think this was the match of the night. I definitely don't think it lived up to the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels matches, but I don't know if those matches could really ever be topped at this point in Undertaker's career. I was trying to think of some people I don't think anybody else in the company can even come close. I think they definitely picked the best guy at Triple H to try to even come close to those matches. But I don't know who. Maybe if Kurt Angle came back in, he could have a hell of a match with Undertaker. But still a really good match. Don't get me wrong. And I like the entrances by both guys. Triple H came out to For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, and a bunch of Warriors with Shield, and he threw his, they only saw a real short glimpse of him with this big fur, animal fur coat and the crown and stuff. And then it went back and he was just in his regular tights and spit in the water. But I like to see him come down the ring with all that. And then, so Undertaker came down. He came down to the song they've been playing for weeks now, which is just a perfect fit for him. Perfect fit for the show, I think. And a really cool entrance. He just walked slowly down to the ring with all the smoke and really got you into the match. They started out quick, going outside the ring, fighting outside the ring, into the coal mine. Huge backdrop off the floor on Triple H. Looked like that hurt. Taker did his big dive, and you can't blame him as a deuce or dominant, I don't know which one, for not catching him this time because they weren't there. But even though it's cool seeing him fly, it's scary when he lands straight down on his head. Maybe Undertaker should cut that move out, but still pretty awesome. Holy shit chance. Lots of finishers. Some people have a problem with that, where there's so many finishers and they keep kicking out of it. I can understand why they say that, but at the same time, it works for me, especially you kind of expect that in the Undertaker match. It's just no stopping Undertaker. You have to keep hitting these finishers. and trying to stop the Dead Man. And I did like the spot where Triple H gave him the tombstone, and he even kicked out of that. I kind of thought maybe he wouldn't kick out of that one. I could maybe the commentators a little bit over the top with the oh, this is over, because then when they keep saying it's over, it's not going to be. But again, this was kind of nitpicking. I thought it was a really good match. He puts the Hell's Gate on Triple H when he's going with the hammer. And I did not expect the tap out by Triple H, but he did. He tapped out. And I thought that was a cool finish. Usually that move doesn't get a huge pop from the crowd, but it got a better reaction this time than it usually does. I still think people probably would have liked to see the tombstone, but he did hit it several times, so he made him tap out. Triple H left. And I kind of liked the end where Undertaker really looked beaten. It kind of made you have the sense maybe the next time, or maybe this is the end of the Undertaker. Maybe, Triple H brought him all the way to the edge, and that's it. But I'm sure we'll see him again, maybe next year at WrestleMania or something. Really good match. I was surprised Undertaker was taken out in the cart. I thought he'd be kind of guy who would want to walk out, but I thought that added something to it, too. Then we went to the Dolph Ziggler and Laycool versus Morrison, Trish, and Snooki. Wow, the match. Real short. Snooki got lots of boos. Trish hit some chops, showed her ass crack. Trish McCool fell outside of the ring from the top rope. Probably the cool move was Morrison hit the Starship Pain off the top rope outside the ring. Then Snooki did the old Great Muta spot, which basically every diva in the WWE does. They all do that spot, the handspring elbow in the corner, and she got the big pin. I don't know. I guess she did it pretty well. I don't know, but I don't see what people see in Snooki. I just don't get it. But maybe I'm too old. But anyway, she picked up the win. From what I've heard on the Facebook, she might want to become a full-time wrestler, but I doubt it. Anyway, I guess that would be the buffer match between the two big matches. But after it was all said and done, originally I was saying she got to end with Miz and Cena. But looking back, I think they probably should have ended with the Undertaker match, because that was a lot better than the main event. Again, if you guys are calling, it's 508-644-8503, because I'm going to be getting cut off here in about 4 minutes, but I'll keep recording the show, so if you guys call in, you can talk to me what you thought about WrestleMania. All right, so we had the Miz. I really liked Miz's video package. He kind of reminded me of the smartest man on earth, Ozymandias from The Watchmen, where he's sitting there watching all the videos. That was pretty cool. I liked that. And he came out as a big inflatable awesome that he pushed out of the way. And it's always kind of lame when the champ comes out first, but you get kind of used to that in WWE. They've been doing that for years. If the challenger is a big baby face. But by God, did I hate John Cena's entrance. I don't see what this had to do with John Cena. He came out to a gospel choir. How does that fit John Cena? I have no idea. And then John Cena came out with his typical baseball cap and cut off shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, well, you wouldn't be dressing like that if he was in a church choir. So I just didn't get it, didn't like it. I think that they were trying to pander they maybe thought the audience, there's no way the audience can boo a choir. Well, they were wrong, because they JR kept saying Miz had a high IQ, which I don't know. I don't think he's an idiot, but I didn't get that. I guess that's his new thing for Miz, is he's very smart. He can beat him in chess or something. I don't know. And he said Cena had government mule-like toughness. That's a strange line. Match really had no heat to begin with for quite a while. And then it kind of picked up a little bit into the match. Miz hit a short DDT, which I always dig. And then they started to get some heat back, get the crowd into it. He hit the big attitude adjuster, John Cena did. And then it kind of went downhill from there, because then they had a double count out. Which, I think the match was only, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. It seemed like it was shorter than the ring entrances, and they had a double count out, like these guys have said, this epic match, and kind of lame. And then I think everyone knew, there's no way they're going to end WrestleMania on a double count out. This isn't TNA where they would do something like that until you watch Impact. So you knew Rock was going to come out. I think everyone knew that, which is fine. I'm not saying that if something's going to happen, that's always bad. So anyway, Rock comes out, and he restarts the match. Well, the GM calls, and they go through all that crap. And I wish they would just get rid of the laptop by now. It's gone on way too long. And so then he restarts the match, and then he's like, oh, it doesn't matter what the GM says, blah, blah, blah. Restarts the match. He immediately gives John Cena the rock bottom, and Miz pins him, which I just thought was, like, really lame. Like, if they would have wrestled for a little while longer, he did that maybe. Like, he got in his face, and he in the rock bottom. But when it came off, I just thought it was, like, really a lame main event. And it was a lot better than Sting versus Hardy, but we didn't get any shoot pins in this one. But I did not dig it. And then Cena beats up, Rock then beats up Miz. And I know he's The Rock, and it's cool to see The Rock. Everyone likes The Rock. But at the same time, this guy has not been in your company for 7 years. He immediately comes in, and he just beats both your top guys in your main event at WrestleMania. What does that say about your company? It's like, man, our current guy's just below. This guy can just come in and just beat everybody. And it's too bad because I did not like that main event. The rest of the show I liked pretty good. If they would end with Undertaker Blade, I would have said definitely thumbs up. I'm still going to give a thumbs up, I guess, overall. But those last, I didn't expect anything from the Morrison Snooki match, so that's really not a factor to me. But main event was not good. Kind of took WrestleMania down a notch for me. But let's see here. Who do we got on the line? We got William. William, did you watch WrestleMania?
I paid $65 for my WrestleMania.
I paid $55.
I got the HD version.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta admit, like Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, that turned out better than expected. I mean, the opener was just kind of crazy, you know. I still can't understand why you open up the show with
the
world
championship. Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the ending to it, because all that build about this is his destiny, and he loses, that was kind of shocking too, I gotta admit.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Orton, CM Punk, that match, that was pretty sweet and pretty good match.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they really known until at least, you know, this afternoon on what in the hell where they're gonna put matches and where, because like the core match, their entrances were longer than the match. That happened with a couple different matches in the card.
Yeah, they should have. I don't know. Do you think even if they gave that match more time, anybody really would have cared about it?
Well, they throw a couple high spots in there, at least 8-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the core kind of just looked like, here's a throwaway match.
Do you think that's the end of the core? Because can you really keep doing the core gimmick after that? Kind of seemed like that might just be the swan song. That's like the end of the core.
Yeah, it was very bizarre how they did that, and it was just like, here it is, this is the match, and no one should care any less about the core, and of course, pretty much, it's just how you gonna, it kind of seemed like SmackDown was kind of treated like the second-class citizen of the show, really. Mm-hmm. If you look at all their matches that they had, except for Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, you really can't say that much. Because it's very predictable. I mean, Edge walking out really didn't make a whole lot of sense, in honesty.
Mm-hmm. What about Del Rio? Do you think that's I don't think that's the end of Del Rio, but I was surprised he didn't win the title. I think they'll keep pushing the guy, or do you think that's the end of his run?
I honestly think after all this time, I honestly think, next couple months, he'll win the world title. It's only just a matter of time now, I think. That's just kind of like, with the car at the end, that kind of, it kind of made you sympathetic towards Del Rio, because that's a $300,000 car, and they're sitting here destroyed, and he's kind of emotional about it. So you kind of got a little bit of sympathy for him, actually. But the match that spoke volumes, like that was worth the $65 that I paid, was Taker versus Triple H. They put everything into that. They did everything they could to make that just an incredible match. And the false finishes made me jump off my seat, because I really thought Triple H had him there. It actually got me caught in the moment, thinking maybe Triple H could pull this out, because it was strange. Because Taker was taking an ass whooping for 20 minutes straight, and then with one submission, all of a sudden it's over. But I think what sold it was the end, because he basically killed himself to continue that streak. And next time you see him, it's going to be even more special.
Yeah. The way he was laying there was just like, he did it, but he's not the indestructible guy anymore. He's really on his last leg. He really took Triple H took him all the way and almost beat the man. In fact, he looked worse off than Triple H after the match.
Didn't you think that kind of spoke volumes about what Taker's gonna, this streak and how important that is, and the gravity of.
You think they could do that next year, Triple H and Undertaker too, like they did Michaels Undertaker?
Well, see, what I was thinking is next, Triple H, goes on, does a few matches here and there, but it seems like he wants to, kind of end out his career, and it kind of seems like that road that you go down where Triple H just drive crazy because he just whooped his ass for 20 minutes and couldn't get it done. So next year, he actually puts his career on the line, and if he doesn't win it, he'll retire. And it kind of like 20-0, he retires Triple H, and Taker retires. It kind of seems like what they're kind of building towards, actually.
I could see that. But
it was phenomenal. I mean, that dive that Taker did over the ropes, it was just like, holy, effing shit. Taker at his age and how many surgeries and how injured he has been, to actually be able to do that. That's why he pretty much is Mr. WrestleMania. He pretty much has that title along with the streak.
Yeah, so you think he's actually passed Michaels as Mr. WrestleMania?
Well, see, obviously with Shawn Michaels, you're always going to have that 60-minute Iron Man match. So really, it's kind of like you got Mr. WrestleMania and you got Mr. WrestleMania 1A, Like, these two guys were, is, and was, because, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, that match, and, even when Shawn faced Vince in 2006, that was cool, and Kurt Angle in 2005, that stole the show.
Yeah.
But, Taker's on that same level, and it's kind of like, how much more can they do with Taker once he wrestled Shawn last year and retired Shawn? But this year it's kind of like Taker. He beat Triple H. He's kind of like, you never know when you're going to see him again, but he did it, and he killed himself to do it in the end, and that's what I would do. Spoke volumes about it. But the main event, that was. The crowd was just, everyone expecting The Rock. The Rock. They were pretty much not really caring about this one to see what The Rock would do. The Miz's that video thing that he did, that was actually pretty cool.
I liked that too. What did you think about Cena's entrance with the choir?
I couldn't be more pissed off. I gotta admit, I'm like, really? What and how much sense in the choir, and he's just like God, and it seems like it would fit more for Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
If Shawn Michaels did something like that, sure, that would be believable. But how exactly are you supposed to root for somebody who, they got the choir, and everyone, this is the WrestleMania main event. This ain't like Church God. This ain't the Christian Network all of a sudden. It kind of made you want to boo him more because of this entrance, because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit his character. Where does it fit? It was the weirdest 5 minutes that kind of wasted. But Triple H and Taker's entrance, perfect. That song, Salter.
Everyone was, into the Rock or was into Austin. The best match, Triple H and Undertaker. Like, these are, all guys from the last generation. Undertaker, Triple H are probably on the way out. Austin and Rock are out. Rock might have a match here and there. But when these guys really all are gone, like, who's going to be carrying the company? You think I like The Miz. I'm a really big fan of The Miz, but I don't see him as, even though I think he's got a, like, promo-wise, a good character, like, he doesn't have these matches that really draw you in, and I just don't see him as a guy that's going to be carrying the company. I don't see anybody around there. I guess Cena's the closest guy, and, even him, like, most of the fans hate him.
Unless it was kind of a shame not to see Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus on WrestleMania, because those, and Evan Bourne, and it seems like they have a lot of underutilized talent, and these five, including like Edge, Big Show, Kane.
Yeah, all those guys are, they're near the end of their careers, too.
Rey Mysterio, these guys are going to be done with in the next couple of years, and that's why Del Rio, they got to basically bank on him to be a star, and because
he's not a young man though either. Because
I heard he's 34, ain't he?
Yeah, and he'd wrestled for years. Even him, I like him. I don't know if he's a guy that can really carry the company either.
No, and it's like Randy Orton. I like CM Punk. CM Punk, that is a guy, in his match, and his hair slicked back. He's got that demonic kind of just...
So you like the hair slicked back?
I do that with my hair all the time.
I know. You don't know who he is, but I've been telling everyone you're the next Cody in your head. I'm digging your...
I actually sat down and watched that movie the other day. That was pretty fun.
Oh, that's a good time.
I mean, it was just, you basically, the last 10 minutes of the show is kind of like what you're selling it on, but I was hoping, okay, so Rock whoops all their ass. Maybe he can hold the title, take the title. Mm-hmm. Because obviously they made them all look like a joke. Even if it's for like 24 hours in the next, because obviously it's going to be a Raw, they screw him out of the title, Miz does something, and then, because, it didn't make a whole lot of sense at all for the match and then double count out. Like, we need someone save us here. This is absolutely the most terrible way you can end the WrestleMania. And the match itself, it's really...
So, overall, thumbs up, thumbs down for the whole show?
Well, Snooki Mania is running wild, that's for sure.
So you're a fan of Snooki?
I like her moves. She's doing all this jiggle and doing backflips and getting the pin, and Trish Stratus looked hot, and she looks like in better shape than she's ever been. John Morrison pulled a couple spots in that match, but Vicky coming out, it was, did what it did, but it was just some of those matches were not giving a lot of time at all. And I can't understand how they open up with the world title match.
Who's hotter, Snooki or Michelle McCool?
Michelle McCool.
Right.
Yeah. Them two facing off, you kind of got those goosebumps because that's like a dream diva match right there.
Really? I'm just baffled. I don't see what anyone sees in Snooki, but apparently you're a big fan.
What did you think of the back? Okay, so you had the Rock open. That was kind of lackluster too. It was open up with the mic and him talking.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was pretty much what he's done on Raw.
Yeah, it was like the ABC motion. It wasn't anything he didn't even dress like John Cena on Monday night. What he did there, he didn't touch that at all. But those backstage skits were actually some of them. The Rock and Austin face to face. That was pretty magical. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, some of those were pretty good. Some of them, not so much, but overall it was pretty good, I guess. So you give a thumbs up the whole show?
Yeah, I would say my thumb would be in the middle if they would have just had Taker and Triple H end it, and it just seemed like it needed something else at the end. That kind of felt like pay-per-view you'd pay in June or something,
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you for calling, William. We'll talk to you Wednesday. This Wednesday, we actually have Big Dick Johnson on the show, former writer for WWE. So, and also, well, not only was he Big Dick Johnson, who was dancing around with a thong on, he's also a writer for the show. So, I think this will be a very interesting interview.
He was always funny every time you see him.
I dug him. I was always his guilty pleasure of mine. I used to. I was a big fan of Big Dick.
Oh yeah, everything. And when he did that baby oil, are you ready to party? That was great. An oiled down Big Dick popping up. What's not to like? That's true. Actually, a hard oil up dick ain't.
Well, he's not really hard, but he's kind of soft. But anyway, we'll talk to you later, William.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to listen to the show because the only way to listen to it is by the phone.
Yeah, well, you could stay on, just be quiet. Let's see here.
All right, cool, thanks.
All right, Paul, we got Stay Puffed on the line.
Hello, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just using the Mac. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is the first long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, first-time caller. I'm usually working, but I've got a couple of weeks off to take away some leave.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
I'm digging the voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
Say, give me like some type of line like, that's not a knife, this is a knife.
Oh, that's not a knife, this is a knife? How's that?
Pretty good.
Oh, what about like just standard g'day, mate?
That's a good one.
The voice in your head is Outback Jack, talking to you directly from inyourheadonline.com. If you're not listening, your mother still dresses you.
All right, I thought it was a bit of an indifferent show. For WrestleMania, I expect a bit more than what they got. Through the whole show, every time I saw a skit, all I could think of was they bumped Sheamus and Daniel Bryan for, Pee Wee Herman or for Snoop Dogg. They could have fit in a 10-minute match, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. It went right to the end there, but I think they could have definitely put that match in there. Maybe cut down the Lawler match. I actually think would have made that match better.
Yeah, I thought
you really
well.
didn't need that Snoop Dogg stuff. Maybe they thought it was cool to have Snoop Dogg on the show, but that segment really wasn't necessary.
No, they threw in, a couple of guys got a bit of a WrestleMania payday by appearing in the little skit, but I don't think it was needed on the show.
Yeah. And that match would have been the match, where it was like a good, solid in-ring performance, which is always
that's right.
Good to watch on WrestleMania.
No, that's right, because it would have broken up the show nicely, because you had you had the Big Show match was about 3 minutes worth, and then you sort of transitioned to the Punk match. But in between there, I guess you could say that Cody and Ray was the solid wrestling match of the sort of first hour of WrestleMania, I guess. Mm. But I don't know, it's up to them really to how they want to position the show, but to me, it felt a bit flat. Just the atmosphere. It was pretty much dead for the main event. They weren't reacting to anything. And you're probably right.
Do you think it would have been better if they ended with Undertaker, Triple H?
Probably would have been better, but even to me that match was, I know you can't compare it to HBK. It's a lot quicker. It's a more up-tempo match. It was a lot of stop-start for me, but it built the story up of Triple H sort of doubting whether he could finish Taker off, which is what I guess Michaels was alluding to on Raw. Mm-hmm. So, and I thought it was good they didn't have him come out there and screw around with the finish as well. But yeah, they probably would have been better off finishing with Taker and Triple H.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely don't think it was as good as HBK Undertaker. But at the same time, if your other guys who are your champion stuff, if they can't follow those guys, you probably have the wrong guys as champions.
Well, that's true as well. But again, we got to the point where I think in the main event as well that people were expecting Rock to come and do something. So they knew that there wasn't going to be a finish until Rock came out and did what he said he was going to do. So you're almost baiting people to wait and not react to anything until they heard Rock's music, which probably hurt them in the match as well.
Yeah. And obviously Rock's a huge star and stuff, but he really overshadows both guys, and they didn't really, try to help that at all with any of the booking or how they put together that match, and I think he just totally overshadowed. Then he even beat up both guys, and I just don't get it didn't seem like a very smart thing. Kind of reminded me of when Hogan would just come back and immediately get the title all the time.
Well, that's true. I mean, you finished off the biggest show of the year with someone that's not going to be there for the rest of the year. So, you know, how smart is that in terms of going forward? The Rock ends up being the biggest star of the show, and he's not going to be there. He's going to be there for Raw, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe I think he'll probably do a match at SummerSlam or something, but he's not going to be there for like the extended period of time.
Exactly right. I mean, you're right, they're probably out building to SummerSlam, but again, you know, if you wanted Miz to be credible, or, you know, he's supposed to be the changing face, you needed to end the biggest show with the guy you want to promote going forward, and it's not The Rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, he beat up both guys.
Yeah, so, nah.
And then the other champion's Edge, and I don't think really many people care about him anymore.
Well, I said it earlier in the week. I thought that they started to build the Del Rio match. They tried to get a bit of feeling towards it because really no one cared. And it showed tonight by throwing it on first. I mean, you know, you had Del Rio feuding with Christian the whole time, and you had nothing between Edge and Del Rio to think, well, you know, what are these two going to do at Mania? And they throw it on first, get rid of it, and everyone's forgotten about it.
Really, though, that was probably a better match than the Miz Cena match.
It probably was, yeah. But again, the show was starting, and the crowd's hot. They're ready for Mania, even between the two guys. I mean, I don't know what Cena was trying to do, what Miz was trying to do in the match. Like you said, they're playing Miz off as a smart thinking champion, and then you got Cena as a workhorse, but I don't know how that played out with JR, you know, trying to put that swing on the match. So.
I think it's a match between both guys that really need like another guy to really have a great match with. Because I'm not gonna say Cena sucks, because I've seen him have like really good matches. And Miz, I'm a big fan of Miz, like character-wise, but I can't really think of too many like great Miz matches. So them together, I don't really see them being able to pull off like a great match. Plus, like you said, everyone's just expecting Rock to come out, so I don't know how they could have really had like a stellar performance there.
No, they couldn't. They were all waiting for that big finish with Rock, and that's all anyone was waiting for. They were sitting on their hands until that music hit. They, like you said, they knew that the match wasn't going to end in a count-out.
Yeah, and I would like to see Christian turn heel on Edge. I think that would be a better feud. I think people, you know, they've had a history together, and they did a feud before, but not like a really good one.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with
more
that.
Interesting.
No, I agree with that. I mean, you're right, they had the feud in the past, but it was like over a little IC title. Now you've got Edge with the main belt that builds a bigger story. It gives Christian some credibility going after Edge and finally trying to claim a bit of the spotlight, but I don't know. Maybe along the line.
You could tell the story. You know, they were this big tag team, and Edge was the guy that really took off, and Christian was the guy that was kind of forgotten. And
yeah, exactly right. I mean, it's all there. I mean, they decided finally to go back 2 years with the Punk and Orton storyline, so there's no reason they can't go back and divulge into the story of Edge and Christian. But again, it's how they want to do that and how Vince sees Christian, because we always hear he hasn't got that classy 8x10 or whatever the report was back in the day.
Didn't you feel like this year's WrestleMania, it was really more about like the veteran guys and guys that aren't really in the company anymore? They didn't really like showcase any of like the younger guys?
Yeah, well, I thought going in it was the Attitude Era WrestleMania, because I mean you had the build for Taker and Triple H was that they were the last two relics of really that era, and that's why I thought they didn't talk about the WrestleMania 17 match. But then you also had Rock, you had Austin, you had Trish, which were all big parts of when the company was sort of at its prime. But yeah, I thought
on Raw once.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I thought it was the Attitude Era WrestleMania. Sort of, I don't know if it was putting it to rest, but it was really the spotlight in trying to draw people in to have a look. And you're right. I think it did hurt the current batch of guys that are going around now. They didn't really get showcased at this WrestleMania.
Well, I want to thank you for calling in.
That's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call.
Anytime. Let's see. We also got Fontana on the line.
How's it going, Jack?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just a little disappointed tonight.
Yeah. So you did not enjoy WrestleMania?
It had its moments, but it definitely wasn't last year. You know, where you had Bret Hart and you had Undertaker versus Michaels too. You know, it's just I just felt like last year's Mania was a bit bigger. And this year, they just kind of, it's almost like they were building it for Tough Enough. They weren't building it for Mania, you know, and it just kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah, you did see some Tough Enough ads there. I'm kind of looking forward to that, see what goes on. But I guess disagree, though, about the Bret Hart. Bret Hart coming back is big, but that match last year I thought was just pitiful.
It was. It wasn't anything. I mean, I knew going in that we weren't going to get, you know, Bret the way we remember Bret, but I just thought we were, you know, I still dug it because it was Bret Hart in the WWE ring, you know, and this year it was just, you know, I'm glad Michaels is sticking to his guns and he wants to stay retired. I just thought, you know, for sure he was going to get involved in that match, and the ending to me between the Taker Triple H match just kind of came out of nowhere. You know, and I liked the ending of the match. Like it was, you didn't expect that because he never really beat any top guys with the choke. Yeah, and I would almost like him to pass out and not tap out. You know, but I mean, it was
kind of like Austin.
It was a great match, though. I mean, it wasn't 5-star, but both men, you know, put 100% in it, and you could tell, you know, that they were stealing the show. You know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point in their career, I mean, the young dogs should be, you know, the guys that are still stealing the card anyway. Shouldn't be all on their shoulders.
Yep, and I don't
know if there's anybody who can do it.
Well, going into the event, I thought which we never got it, but the Danielson Sheamus match I thought was going to be a sleeper, mm-hmm. and I thought it was going to steal the show, and of course they cut it for whatever reason, time constraints. But and I kind of have to agree with you know Puffed as well. It was so they could have cut a lot of that you know the Pee Wee Herman thing. They could have cut it out. I mean, it was funny for what it was, but they could have cut it out to get us some more to get that match in.
Yeah, if they had time to kill, throw it in there, you know, whatever. But if you're cutting out a match for it, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, and am I the only one that was kind of impressed with Snooki for the 5 minutes she was in the ring? I mean,
I think it was probably about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't very much, but I mean, the moves or the backflip deal, you know, was pretty good, you know.
She did it well, but I've seen like almost every diva in the company does that move at some point. For a while, it was like in every diva match. I remember Kelly used to do it, and Gail Kim, and I think the Bellas have done it at one point. Pretty much everybody.
I just thought it was cool because, you know, going in, I just thought, well, okay, this is, I mean, it still was, but a throwaway match, you know. And she kind of tried to show that she had a little bit there, but I mean, it's a one-time deal. I don't want to see her again, you know. But
yeah. I kind of felt like it was almost like a trained monkey. Like you could train a monkey to do like a backflip or something. And maybe they just spent like a month training her to do that, and that's all she could do. But I don't know. I mean, if we'd seen a regular match, she could do some other stuff. It wasn't as horrible as I thought it would be. It was probably the right thing just to keep it, you know, like a minute or two.
I just thought, you know, John Morrison was going to do something spectacular, and I mean, he kind of did with the Starship Pain to the floor.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, we didn't really get to see any type of John Morrison Dolph Ziggler interaction, which I was kind of hoping to at least get 5 minutes between the two, you know.
Yeah.
I think those two are the future stars of the WWE in my eyes. So.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say we said a few times here that it was mostly about the older guys, and I think it's a combination of a lot of the younger guys like that they push. Like some of them I like and stuff, none of them really capture me. So I think it's a combination of maybe none of those guys are really it to be the next star, and it's also none of them are really positioned to be either. You have to have both. You have to have the talent, and you also have to be positioned in the company. Like as good as Steve Austin was, if he was never given, you know, the big push, you would have just been, you know, this mid-card guy. Anybody, you know, they got behind him, they got behind The Rock, they got behind guys that people liked, and you know, they had to give him the big push for them to take off. But you know, some of the guys that give big pushes to, I don't really think capitalize on it. And some of the guys that maybe could capitalize on the big push, they don't give it to.
Exactly. to me, they definitely need to be focusing on these young cats because, these older guys aren't going to be there forever, and Triple H has said that he's ready to wind it down. And as we could tell, I don't know what type of angle they're doing with Taker, if that was a real injury or if this is just a way to write him off TV again for a while or whatnot. But, it's just showing that these older guys wish they could still go, but they're not going to be there forever, and we need to start getting some better, some new stars out there.
So overall, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going to have to go with in the middle. It had its moments that were really, really good, and it had its moments that were just, plain garbage. The main event, that wasn't a main event to me for WrestleMania. When this is your big show, you don't do it the way they did it, But I'm gonna go ahead. I'll give it a thumbs up just because it's Mania, but it still broke my heart.
Yeah. Now, I will say about Snooki real quick, because you said you were impressed by her move. I think it probably did what it was supposed to do. They'll send that clip out to news channels, news sites, and entertainment television shows, and they can play that clip and say, she did this at WrestleMania, and get people just to see that, and maybe tune into WWE. It wasn't meant to be this 5-star classic match. Pretty much just name value.
Yep, it was just for the newspapers.
All right, good talking to you, and everyone go to inyourheadonline.com, and you go and you join the message board. And currently on the message board, we have the Carol Crockett Cup. And 3 of the people called in tonight. William Morey, who's he's off the charts on his videos. This is pretty awesome. He's the maniac of In Your Head. Good times. You got Stave Puft. He's been around for a while, and he's part of the tournament. And you also have Fontana, and I'm glad that you sent me an email. You said you're going to step it up, and you're going to try to win this tournament. So everyone check that out at inyourheadonline.com. And I believe Stay Puft, he did an awesome job last year, and I think as the tournament progresses, we're going to see some good stuff from him as well.
Which reminds me, when me and Game make it into the second round, Puff, I got his number. And we're gonna take them out. Him and Duckman are done for.
Mm-hmm. I'm really happy. I really liking William Morey's stuff. I liked your promos. I haven't watched Travis yet, but I saw he put one up. I really dug Old School's video. That took me by surprise and expect something cool from him. So nothing against him. I mean, he's a good dude.
Yeah, and you can't take away from Jason X either.
Jason X, really good promo, and Dan Balter with the ski mask on, very scary man. I think that's.
All right, thank you, Jack.
Thanks, man. All right, guys, we'll be back Wednesday, InYourHeadOnline.com with Big Dick Johnson. This is our 6th year of doing the show. Time really flies here. I've been putting up some classic clips on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/JackIYH, and there's interviews from over the last 6 years, and I also put up a couple clips that people have sent me. There's a pretty cool clip up there. It was the first time I was exposed on the show, my true identity, and it was by the fan of Get in the Ring, which was a pretty cool moment because he was kind of like the inspiration to doing the show for Incher, myself, and Barbie, and Tyler does the website, and we always listen to Get in the Ring with Sir Adam and the Phantom that he called in the show, and it was a pretty funny clip, so definitely check that out. And there's a clip of me reading a poem to Lenny Poffo. I don't know, some other clips people sent me, I don't know, something about a jive turkey, talk about Steinerized, all kinds of stuff. And if you have a favorite moment of the show, just either cut it out yourself and send it to me, email it to me at jack@inyourheadonline.com, or tell me what show it's from, whereabouts it is, and I'll do my best to cut it out and put it up on YouTube. And also this year, we're going to have, this month for the 6th anniversary, we're going to have Mean Gene Okerlund on the show. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And who knows who else. We're trying to work on some other guests here. Trina Michaels will be on the show pretty soon, making her return to In Your Head. Wrestling legend Trina Michaels. So that'll be good times. And check it out, InYourHeadOnline.com. Thanks for listening to the WrestleMania 27 post show.
you're out there running the store and put down that can of worms, and that big fat old lady you're looking at that going for you to eat dinner. This is Bobby that brain hen. I'm in your head, and I'm online at .com. So get with it, or I'm moving next door to you. You won't like it, because you like your wife. I guess you would like it.
Hey, what's up? This is Amy Dumas. You may know me as Lita. And you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.
Hey, this is Kirk Beware, and you listen to InYourHeadOnline.com. Hey, don't forget it, brother. Online.com. In Your Head. Coco Beware. Yeah, get it together, baby.
Hey, this is Big Sexy Kevin Nash. You're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com, the only place to hear people like me tell it like it really is.
Hi, this is Tori Wilson, and you are listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. Oh, yeah.
This is Gold Dust from Hollywood, California, or Dustin Rhodes, the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. We are taking over the rest of business, and you have been listening to In Your Head Online.